to the Let's Talk About podcast with me, your host, Moonvi Johnson, and let's get into this episode. Hey y'all, and welcome back to the Let's Talk About podcast. I'm your host, Moonvi Johnson, if you're new here, and if you're not new here, welcome back. So glad to have you. So in today's episode, I'm going to be talking, or rather giving advice about my senior year as a second semester high school senior. And if you are in the same boat as me, or if you can relate in any way, or if you are maybe younger than me and want some advice on what being a senior really entails, you're welcome to listen. I don't know if this applies to you, you can listen, whatever. So yes, as I've said before, I am a second semester senior, which means that literally I'm going to be leaving my house in the next 5 months. So yeah. I feel like I've learned a lot through this experience. Being that there were points where it was stressful or tough, but there were also moments where it was very fun. And I'm just gonna dive right in. Today's gonna be a chill episode, and I want to say one of the most important things that I've learned is that when it comes to college and doing your research and really finding out what is the best fit for you, really take the time to do your research. When I did this, when I really took the time to research, like read up about every single college that I wanted to apply to and went in depth with that research, it really helped me. It propelled me to like know, okay, this is somewhere where I'm going to be happy. This is somewhere where I'm going to thrive and I'm going to fit in. And it has things I want to study. And even if it didn't, just the atmosphere of the place really drew me towards it. But really doing your research, because this is going to be the place, most likely, that you're going to spend the next 4 years of your life if you choose to go to college. And even if it isn't the place that you end up being for 4 years, being that you want to transfer, whatever, hopefully that doesn't have to happen because you fit in so well with that environment. Like, you know, I don't think people look to college because they're not going to want to transfer. That's not what they envision for their college life or plan. But yeah, just really taking the time to study and be familiar with the places that you are putting an application to is I think is something that's really important. Um, but in addition to this, when it comes to doing that research, I suggest that you involve your family in your college discussions. And this is something that I wish I had done more. Um, I feel like a lot of us tend to think that this whole college situation is an independent, like, we're taking these first steps of independence to like being not, this is a place that we are deciding to go to. Because of maybe what it offers for you, what you want to study academic wise, location wise, you just want to have a new environment, whatever it may be. But your parents are also very involved in this college decision because they are the ones who are ultimately going to be paying for it, most likely. I mean, really depending on your family situation, I can't really speak on that for everyone, but most people do get the financial aspect of college covered through their parents. And I'm really grateful that I have supportive parents who want me to end up at a place where I'm going to thrive. And what something that they had wished was that I involved them more in what I was looking for in a college and just really discussing why I wanted to go to certain places, because I started to do this more towards the end, and it was actually really helpful for me as well, not just for them. But I had wished I'd involved them even more earlier on because I feel like it would have made the process a little bit easier. Mind you, this was my first time going through this college process. My parents, within their college education, it was my dad. He always tells me this story, but he wasn't really looking to go to college. He really thought he had his life together, but teenagers aren't always right. So his uncle pushed him to go to college. He ended up going to college in Minnesota. And then my mom, when she came to the United States, she went to City College in New York. So anyways, they kind of had their own journeys, but this was like a concrete journey for me. I'm in the United States. I want to go to college. It was a different experience. I just think that you should involve like a group of people or just your parents, or maybe an older sibling who's gone through this process before, just involve them in it, talk to them, debrief about certain colleges, about things that you found out about the colleges, whatever it may be, because I feel like it's really helpful. And I want this process for the future people who are going to be going through this process to like sort of have that piece of advice. I think that's really important. It takes some of the pressure off of you to just know how to do everything, because applying to college is not easy. There's so many different factors that go into it. If you need financial aid, that's a whole different um, aspect. If you need help like finding a fit for you, there's just so many things that go into the college process that we can't handle all on our own. And for the people who do have to handle that on their own, whether their parents might not speak English, or um, they just don't understand the process, or they don't have like a group of people to do that to help them, that's a whole different situation. But hopefully, if you have the resources, the facilities to be able to have people that can help you, take that help, whether it's guidance counselors, whoever it is. Okay, so the next thing that I wanted to talk about is procrastination. Senior year is not the year to procrastinate. Do not do that, because you will really regret it. You'll end up delaying your whole life and then not doing things on time, and really putting pressure on yourself to complete things with limited amount of time, and then you're just going to end up feeling stressed and not prepared for school, and getting less sleep than you should be getting, which then affects how you are in school and how awake you are, and just it's a whole cycle that you don't want to go through. It's not enjoyable. When you do your work and you get it done and you feel productive, and you're, just doing things on time and not stressing yourself out or putting your future self in a stressful position, you'll feel much better. And I've learned this. Like, there have been times this year where I did procrastinate and I truly regretted it, because in the end, I just made it harder for myself to be able to complete assignments on time. And then, I mean, I always did. But like, even when it comes to getting enough sleep, I just wasn't getting enough sleep. And so that really affected how I was at school. I was always tired and things like that. Yeah, so basically I just ended up in this cycle, and it just really wasn't good for me. Yeah, I really regretted not doing my work on time. So then I just put an end to it. I was like, no, I'm just going to do my stuff now. I'm not going to go to bed past 12 a.m. in the morning, and then, wake up all tired and groggy, and then snooze my alarm, and then wake up late. And then it just really sets the mood for your whole year. Not what your whole day, or how your day is going to go. If you want your day to start off on a positive note, like, don't leave homework for the next morning and say, oh my God, I have like 30 minutes. I can finish it before I go to school. Don't stress yourself out. Just do the work when you're supposed to, like when you get home. Don't scroll on TikTok for 3 hours. Um, I know it's hard. There's so many temptations, but your future self will definitely be so happy that you decided to do the work that you needed to do when you needed to do it. And then you get to relax and have your time later on. So really, it just benefits you. The next thing I want to talk about is not being too hard on yourself. Because the senior year comes with a lot of ups and downs. You're gonna be doing a lot of work when it comes to applying to college, and just, you know, maintaining your grades, and just all the things that come with being a senior, new responsibilities, stuff like that. So don't be too hard on yourself. Try your best, and definitely don't slack off, or not care about school anymore just because you're a senior and it's what your last year of high school. But just, continue to strive to do your best, try your best. And if things don't work out the way that you want them to, especially when it comes to maybe dealing with rejection from college, don't take that out on yourself and say, oh my God, I'm not smart enough to be around these people. I didn't get chosen, or whatever the case may be, because really, just know that that moment, feeling sad over rejection, it's going to pass. And ultimately, it's probably wasn't the best option for you. Like, that path wasn't the right path for you, and better opportunities will come your way in the future. So just don't get too hung up on rejection, I know people have dream schools and that they want to go to, and it can be really hard to hear that the school does won't accept you. But then again, you can they can't accept everybody, and you tried your best, you put in the work, and it just wasn't made for you. You're probably going to go so far in life, you don't even know it. I still have to hear back from colleges during the regular decision phase. I know that the future has so much for me, and I'm just looking at it as, on a positive note. I don't think I necessarily had a dream school. You know what? Let me actually be very candid about this. Like, let me talk about this. So I applied to a school for early decision, and I didn't get in. I was rejected from that school. It was hard, and I want other people who may have had the same sort of situation, if they were dealing with rejection, like, I want to let you know that it's not the end of the world. You're going to bounce right back. You're going to be fine. And that just means that that school or that path was not made for you, because you're going to go so far in life. If you know you're smart and you work really hard, someone is going to appreciate that and value that, and you're going to be at a school that really wants you. And I know that sounds like really, really it's a little, I don't know, but you're going to end up where you should be. And just know that this doesn't define you. This moment doesn't define you. This is not a defining moment. Yeah, college is it's a stage in life that, a lot of people go through. It's a milestone, getting into college, graduating from high school, all that sort of stuff. But because you're not going to go to this one school, that doesn't define the rest of your life. You're probably going to end up really well off if you continue to have this mindset of working hard and, just continuing on your path of what you want to do, whether that's being a doctor, a lawyer, teacher, marketing specialist, I don't know, business, art major, I don't know, whatever you want to do, you're going to end up where you need to be as long as you keep that mindset. But yeah, it was hard for me when I got rejected. It was my first decision that I had gotten from a college, and it hurt a little. But then again, the school that I applied to was very selective. But I just want to be candid and real about this, because I know a lot of people struggle with this as well, just dealing with rejection. It's hard, and I'm not going to deny that. I was sad for a good few hours, and then I was like, okay. So versus some of my other friends, when they heard back from their colleges and it wasn't the best news, they were dancing instead. So I'm not going to name names, because that's not I'm not going to do that. But people have different reactions. If you handled it well, good for you. But I know that I shed some tears, but then I got over it, and I was like, okay, on to the next thing, because I can't let that singular moment define me. There's too much going on for me that to be hung up on that one single moment. So, anyways, enough about that. Just don't be too hard on yourself. Just know that better things, new opportunities, new doors are going to open up to you, and you're going to be just fine. And kind of going off of that is taking care of yourself. As much as you study and as much as you work hard at school, you should take some time for yourself. Now that doesn't mean like just completely disregard school and that kind of stuff. Make sure you stay on top of your studies and do the best you can, but don't make yourself too stressed. Like, this goes hand in hand with not procrastinating. You need to take care of yourself. You need to take care of your body and your mental health, and just your emotional health as well. You don't want to be stressed, crying every day, because you can't make up this assignment. And, too many things, too many tests are coming up, and you're just like maybe stress eating, stuff like that. You want to take care of yourself. Make sure that you're giving yourself the proper attention that you need. And that can be in forms of self-love and self-care. Take a day to yourself just to relax, maybe sleep in on the weekend if you can. I know not everyone's schedules fit that in, but if you can sleep a few extra hours on the weekend, if you can eat a nice lunch or prepare yourself a nice breakfast, pancakes and fruit or something, or if you can maybe take a walk outside, get some fresh air, and I don't know, just breathe the air, watch the sunset. I don't know. It's cold right now, so maybe people aren't doing that. Moral of the story is just to take care of yourself and not to neglect yourself. That's a word. Not to neglect yourself and what your body needs. Like listen to your body, listen to your brain, but don't totally disregard your priorities in school and your responsibilities as well. And then hand in hand with that is creating balance. So in order to take care of yourself, you want to make sure that you have a balance of what you're doing. Let's say throughout the week, you want to, push the grind. What? That's not even a sentence. You want to you want to keep up the pace with your schoolwork, so like you're dedicating your time just for doing homework and stuff like that. But then on the weekends you can carve out some time for yourself to relax, or maybe watch Ginny and Georgia season 2, or whatever it is that you want to do. Just like creating balance of work and play, taking care of yourself, not being too hard on yourself, but also taking things seriously. It sounds ironic and like that doesn't work, but if you create a balance, it'll work. And I'm still navigating that balance. I'm still trying to figure out, okay, I'll do this then. And I write out stuff that I need to do, but I also make sure that I have some fun. Like today, I went ice skating with my friends and it was super fun. And also, I think this is the last thing I'm going to mention. I don't want this episode to be too long. Because I noticed I could just like ramble on for a long time. But as I'm in my last year of high school, I've come to terms with the fact that I'm probably not going to stay friends with everyone. And this is not to say that I'm not going to remain friends with my closest friends, but I mean, in general, a lot of the mutual or like acquaintance people, I'm probably not going to keep in touch with all of them. Of course, my main friends for sure, because like, you know, they're my girls, but yeah, just wanted to add that in there. From high school, and it's just because I know that college is going to be a new journey for me. I'm going to meet so many new people. I'm going to do so many new things. I'm probably going to change a little bit as well because I'm still maturing, all that kind of stuff. I'm going to move on. And this is a new step in my life. And I truly am excited for where it's going to go. Like, I've become more excited than scared of college. I mean, I've always wanted to go to college. That was like a goal of mine. But I used to be a little scared of like, I'm gonna go away from home. I'm gonna not see my friends all the time. Like, I'm gonna be very independent. But I'm actually super excited now, and I really can't wait to go on that journey. I don't know. This is a really pivotal moment in my life, and like I'm feeling so many emotions. I don't know. I'm really excited. Am I gonna start crying? Whoa, whoa. I don't know where that came from. Like the tears just started welling up in my eyes. I think, oh my God, I'm for sure gonna cry at graduation though. I know that for sure. Also, advice for your senior year. The friends that you are really close with, make sure you hang out with them as much as you can, as much as possible before you go to college, because most likely you will end up in different places. I already know my friends have applied to schools in different places, and we're most likely not going to end up in the same place. I feel like a majority of us are applying for schools in the northeastern mid-Atlantic area, but I know that, we're not all going to end up in Boston, for example. So just plan as many hangouts as you can, because I know that being a senior is really time consuming, but plan hangouts and really just enjoy their time, or enjoy your time with them. Anyways, okay, I'm gonna get too emotional if I keep talking. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope you learned something from my experience. And if you guys have questions about my senior year, please feel free to like contact me through the podcast Instagram handle, which is at let's underscore talk underscore about podcast. And you can just reach out to me if you have any questions, like literally about anything. And then maybe I might make a podcast episode on it. But you can follow the podcast. I make reels, I post motivational quotes. I let you know when the next podcast episode is out. So, have your notifications on. So, thanks so much for listening. I hope you guys tune into the next episode. I have so many ideas for episodes. Like, they're coming to my brain, and it's really great because as a content creator, it can be sometimes hard to come up with content to create. Um, but right now I'm just like in a creative zone. Like everything's just coming to me and I'm so happy about that because that makes my life a little bit easier. So yeah. Um, but anyways, thank you so much for listening. And if you enjoyed this, please rate the podcast. I think you can rate it on Spotify. Um, High ratings, hopefully. And thank you guys so much for listening. And I will talk to you really soon. Bye.